Stop. Before you sleep, open the books. Not the version of today you'd tell a friend. The real one, what you actually faced and what you actually flinched from. Everyone else has already closed the account for the night. This is the one entry nobody makes you write, which is exactly why it's the one that counts. Epictetus, born a slave, freed, and still harder on himself than any master ever was, borrowed a discipline older than his own philosophy, the nightly scan the Pythagoreans practiced before him. Let sleep not come upon your languid eyes, the verse ran, before each daily action you have scanned. What's done amiss, what done, what left undone. He turned it into a blade. Where have I failed in the things pertaining to what was actually mine to control? What have I left undone that I ought to have done? Notice what he isn't asking. He isn't asking about the traffic, the meeting that ran long, the thing someone else did to slow you down. He's asking only about your ground, the part of today that was entirely yours to own. That's the only entry that belongs in tonight's ledger. Bill Belichick reduced 6 championships down to 2 words his players could carry into any Sunday. Do your job. Not do everyone's job. Not do more than your job and call it a personality. Do your job, the specific one, in the specific role at the specific standard, and improve on it daily. Pay attention to the small details, put the outcome above the ego. The Patriots reviewed the tape within 24 hours of every single game, win or lose, and graded every player on every play. No delay. No cushion of a few good days to soften a bad one. Tonight is your film session. Run it now while the details are still sharp enough to be honest about. And here's where most people's accounting collapses before it even starts. Not from laziness, but from fear. Cus D'Amato spent a lifetime teaching fighters that the hero and the coward feel exactly the same fear. Exactly the same. The only difference is what happens next. The hero confronts it and converts it into fire. The coward refuses to face what he's got to face. So the honest question tonight isn't, were you afraid today? You were. Everyone is. The question is what you did with it. Did you convert it? Or did you let it run the show while you called that a reasonable decision? Say the real entry out loud, not the polished one. Not, I was busy. What was the actual thing you avoided and why? Once it's named, it stops being a feeling you're managing and becomes a line item you can act on. Notice that none of this is about beating yourself into the ground. Epictetus scanned his day the way a soldier checks his gear. Not to punish the equipment, but to know exactly what's worn and what needs fixing before the next mission. Belichick never once used a film session to humiliate a player. He used it to correct one specific error and move on. The accounting only works if you can look at a bad entry without flinching away from it. No rage, no spiral, just the number, written down correctly. Write down what the ledger showed you. Specifics, the exact task you slid past, the exact fear you let win, the exact moment you told yourself tomorrow instead of doing it tonight. Belichick's answer to a bad outcome was never a speech. It was the next assignment, executed correctly, on schedule, without commentary. That's tomorrow's standard. The thing you skip today becomes the first thing you do tomorrow, done at the level your job actually requires, not the level that's easy to defend. Epictetus would have you close tonight's account clean, regardless of the total. He didn't audit himself to punish himself. He audited himself so tomorrow could start from truth instead of from a story. Write the standard down as an assignment, not a hope. Not, I'll try to handle it better. Try is the exit you build before you've even attempted the door. Name the task. Name the hour. Decide it now, with the day's fear still fresh enough to be useful. Not tomorrow morning when it's easy to pretend the fear was never really there. This morning, when the first strike already told you what the day demanded before the sun was up. Tonight's job was simple. Prove you kept the deal you made with yourself. The ledger doesn't lie, and neither should the entry you write in it. Tomorrow, win before they wake.